faced, I guess, with the unenviable task, they'd say, of trying to make sense of this division. How tough is it looking at it from an analyst's perspective?
I think it's probably the toughest league in the world to predict. I think if you look at the quality of the clubs in there, not as much for players, but just there are some huge clubs. You know, even the first weekend of the season on Sky, we're going to be watching Burnley, Bolton, and Derby, Blackburn. The big clubs with so much history. QPR obviously come down, big spenders. They're going to be looking to bounce back up as well. So it's going to be a really tough league to predict, and a bit of a war of attrition, really.
Yeah, it's historic as well, isn't it? Especially this weekend. It's 125 years of the Football League. The two games featured live on Sky Sports, all founder members, all four teams. And Burnley's first game at Turf Moor was in 1888 against Bolton. They won 4-1. But I just wondered, what do you think is going to happen in this game, given that Burnley have lost Charlie Austin, who's the standout top scorer, on pretty much the eve of the game?
Absolutely. That's a difficulty, I think, from a manager's point of view. You know, if you're the Burnley manager, you're trying to get your squad ready, you're getting a balance to the team. Charlie Austin's your focal point in it, and all of a sudden you get a phone call from some manager and says, I want to buy your best player. I mean, it is an absolute nightmare for
some manager being your
being
father,
my dad. So it's a really tough one, and you have sympathy for the club when that happens. But for someone like Burnley, they have to sell. It's a bit like Jay Rodriguez a few years ago when Southampton came along and bought him. You know, they're not in a position to just
all their players in have been frees.
That's right. You know, and it is going to be a really tough season for Burnley because of that reason. Because, as I say, Charlie Austin, they probably felt that they had a real chance of doing better with him playing.
Who do you think wins this one?
I'm going to go for Bolton. Just about. You know, I think that Dougie Freedman's got them organised. Difficult for him because we're very unlucky not to get into the playoffs last year. And Jermaine Beckford's probably their best signing this year. I'm going to go for him to score the first goal and Bolton to win 2-1.
I suppose the difficult thing with the Championship as well in terms of predicting it far out is you don't know who's going to be the manager of any club after any particular time. And Blackburn Rovers being the biggest case in point from last season. They go to Derby in the live game on Sky Sports 1 on Sunday afternoon, build up from 3:30. Given that Gary Bowyer saved them, that he's got this position now full-time, we understand. Well, does that give you more confidence backing Blackburn going into this game at Derby?
Not really, no. Unfortunately, it's organised chaos there. You know, they are very difficult to predict. I feel sorry for the fans because I grew up in playing the Premier League and when Blackburn was so strong, you know, like Shearer, Sherwood and Sutton, they were such a good side. And to see them now, I mean, yes, they've got Jordan Rhodes, who's a goal-scoring machine, but the players and the managers, and it's like a conveyor belt of players going in and out of the club, and it's so difficult for everybody to get used to. But they'll be hoping they can do well. I wouldn't be surprised if Jordan Rhodes maybe gets sold before the start of the season because the Premier League club will look at it. If they don't start well, I think we need a forward. Where is the best goal scorer in the Championship? And that's probably him. You know, he does score goals. Derby, and you know, they've sort of had continuity there with Nigel Clough, old teammate of mine. Connor Salmon probably lead the line there.
Is it worth a look for the goal scorers market rather than a result in this one, do you think?
Yeah, it's tough. You know, you look at the two sides. I think Blackburn are hard. You know, Jordan Rhodes I think will score, but I could actually see Derby, the way that they went on that good run at the end of last season, and Nigel Clough's probably had a good pre-season with the players. I could see Derby actually edging this one. But with Jordan Rhodes to score the first goal. So I mean, that would be my bet. But as I say, tough to predict in these games. And until you see the windows shut and the squads of each team, it's hard to say who will have what.
Yeah, Derby favourites with Skybet. That one very interesting to work out. In terms of the season, Jamie, it is Queen's Park Rangers who are favourites to win the title and to win promotion, 15-8 to win promotion with Skybet. But last season that didn't really go that way, did it? Relegated clubs didn't even finish in the top 6. So
and Wolves got a
how tough tough for transition, and particularly I suppose you have a losing habit coming down from the Premier League as well.
Yeah, but for instance, the players at QPR, most of them played in the Championship 2 years ago, so it shouldn't be that difficult for them. So they should be able to adjust. I think one or two players have gone, people like Djibril Cissé has gone, that wouldn't have wanted to play in the Championship anyway. It's a case of you need some real men that want to go and play and go to places like Burnley, go to places like Bolton, where it's not going to be sexy football. It's not like playing in the Premier League. You have to dig in, you're going to have to really expect tough games. And I think that's what my dad's trying to do. He's trying to bring in players that know that league, like i.e. Charlie Austin. So, and I also think they'll get one or two players in. You know, he's trying to get a couple of big names in before the start of the season. So, have to wait and see.